Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
There are 8 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame that are credited as relievers. Goose Gossage, Hoyt Wilhelm, Raleigh Fingers, Bruce Sutter, Dennis Eckersley, Lee Smith, Trevor Hoffman, and Mariano Rivera. Only those 8. 8 out of 339 total members in the Hall of Fame spent notable time in the bullpen. That makes up 2.3% of the entire Baseball Hall of Fame. In today's age, where bullpens are so meaningful, it's kind of hard to believe. However, in recent years, there's been a newfound appreciation for that of the closer. It was only back in 2019 where the first ever unanimous vote was given to Mariano Rivera, undoubtedly one of the greatest closers in the game's history. The same year, Lee Smith was finally given the nod by the Veterans Committee. But it even goes further back to 2018 where Trevor Hoffman was voted in his 3rd year on the ballot. As time goes on, the game evolves. With that, so should Hall of Fame voting. That brings me to the Hall of Fame case of Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner is built different. He's a 7-time All-Star, even finishing his career with an All-Star season in Atlanta. But along with Atlanta, he pitched for Houston, Philadelphia, the New York Mets, Boston for a short stretch, and of course finished up with the Atlanta Braves. His stats speak for themselves. 422 saves, 2.31 ERA, 1,196 strikeouts. And in case you're wondering how he compares to the other relievers currently on the Hall of Fame ballot, Jonathan Papelbon and Joe Nathan don't quite reach Wagner in any career stat. I'm not saying they're undeserved of the Hall of Fame, but Wagner is the clear leader here. So that puts Wagner above any reliever on the current ballot. But what about Hall of Famers? Let's circle back to the 8 guys we were talking about earlier that are already enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame. In a lot of Hall of Fame arguments and debates, you'll hear comparisons from one player versus another about certain stats, individual stats, and I don't think that's a complete way to look at a Hall of Fame case. However, being that this is such a small sample size when you're only focused on relievers in the Hall of Fame, we can judge pretty easily who belongs. The way I'm going to do it is by using 3 stats that I believe define what it is to be a reliever. The key here is minimizing damage, but we will use one cumulative stat, and that will be saves. The other 2 will of course be ERA and WHIP, rate stats, which help understand why Billy Wagner was a great closer, even with lack of innings, as you would see as a starter or other relievers of a different era. So, how does Billy Wagner compare? Let's look at career saves. Wagner ranks 4th in this list with 422 behind Rivera, Hoffman, and Smith. In ERA, Wagner ranks 2nd with 2.31, only behind Mariano Rivera. Last but not least, WHIP. Wagner leads all 8 men currently in the Hall of Fame as relievers. Granted, he has less innings pitched than Rivera and Hoffman, the only other men of his era already enshrined. But I'll give you a bonus, strikeouts per 9. Wagner leads this list as well, averaging 11.9 strikeouts per innings. And in case you're wondering about time put in, his 16 seasons more than qualify him for the Hall of Fame. There's more to Billy Wagner than just his stats. He has a great story. This is a guy who broke his right arm twice as a child and taught himself how to throw left-handed and never looked back. By the way, those 8 guys in the Hall of Fame are all right-handed, which means there are currently no left-handed credited relievers in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm in full support of making Billy Wagner the first. The story of Billy Wagner is one of perseverance, from teaching himself to throw left-handed, to getting no attention from D1 schools as a 5'5", 130-pound high school senior, and going to a Division III college, to being drafted in the first round of the 1993 draft as a junior in college, to throwing 16 seasons in the majors, and being a 7-time All-Star. Hopefully it'll end with a plaque in Cooperstown. His Hall of Fame candidacy has been much like his career, full of perseverance. This is his 4th year on the ballot, and each year his total grows. Hopefully, it'll reach 75% sooner rather than later. As for me, if I had a vote, he would certainly be on my ballot.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.